I was full of stoke and feeling really fit. When I looked up at the route, I was more stoked. I was a little hesitant starting out. I was like, man, like it's a big route. I've always wanted to do it. I've been scared off of it. Why am I so psyched now? When I looked at it, I was like, I absolutely, this is going to be easy. The route generally follows chimneys for the whole 7 pitches. The climbing was just wonderful. The route couldn't have gone more smoothly. Really, the only snafu hang up was in the middle of the 6 pitch, you do a face traverse from, you kind of have to go around a large roof. And so you traverse out under the roof to the right and you traverse left back into it. And then you're back in the chimney system above this roof. And right as I got back in the chimney system, I heard something ping. And I was like, something just fell off my harness. The sound that it made, it sounded like one of the pitons I was carrying had come off my harness. Ultimately, what I found out when I reached the belay was that it was my belay device. I reached the belay. It's December. Darkness is closing in. We're on a north facing route. Like, we're going to be headlamps on in less than an hour. Like, throw me on a munter hitch and then we'll figure it out up there. And then he was like, actually, I'll put you on a munter hitch from the top belay. That'll be better. Don't put me on a munter because I don't want the rope to get all twisted. We were really cautious about twisting the ropes because 2 weeks prior to our ascent, some guys we know, their ropes had gotten snagged on the descent and they had to cut their ropes twice. And so we were really like, we don't want to twist these ropes up with a munter hitch. We need to be cautious. So he fired off the last pitch. I got to the top. We high-fived and it was like, this is amazing. Like, what a great day. I haven't been scared. Now I'm scared. We have 1,200 feet of rappelling to do, and I have to improvise this. I played with the carabiner brake. I was like, I don't like it because I just am not positive about what we're going to encounter on the descent. The descent's completely unknown to me. And while ski mountaineering, I've rappelled with a munter hitch a lot, and I know that I will get enough friction with this 8.5 millimeter rope if I use the munter hitch. The decision was made that Jim would go first. And as a backup to me, I would not use a Prussic backup so that I could keep the most friction on the rope and keep it in line to reduce twisting. That he would have a hold of the brake strand of the rope and he would provide a fireman's belay as well in case I slipped or anything happened. And with that, we made one complete rappel. It was lower angle. Everything was working well. It looked like we had a good system. We checked in with each other. Do you think anything needs to change? No, I don't. That worked well. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. The second rappel is where it really got steeper. It went down about 50 feet at a 60-degree angle and then stepped over a bulge. So he got to the bottom, did a test pull. The rope ran okay. I reset it. I set my munter hitch. I quadruple checked it. I remember spending a long time at the anchor. Like, no one's here to double check this for you. So you need to make sure that your munter hitch is checked well. Carabiner was locked. Shouted to Jim that I was rappelling. I had the brake and the load strands in my left hand. And then as a backup, I held the brake strand in my right hand so that I would have two hands on the brake strand at all times. When I got to the edge of the rollover, which was about 50 feet down, as I stepped to that bulge, I looked over my right shoulder so that I could spot my feet because I was going to step into some overhanging space. And as I was setting up to do that, I looked over and suddenly there was no friction in the rope. I thought, wow, like the rope's icy. No, it's not icy. I'm falling. And then I remember bouncing and thinking, I'm going to die. And then a voice in my head screamed, if you're going to die, die fighting. I wrapped my arm in the rope because I had never let go of the brake strand. And it like kind of crushed my arm and my bicep, but the rope was still clipped through the carabiner. And so it smashed my hand against the carabiner and I jolted to a stop. It went from overhanging back to like 70 degrees. And I smashed into that pretty hard. I looked at Jim and I was like, did you catch me? Like, what went on? And he's like, what happened? And then I looked at my carabiner and there was no munter hitch on the carabiner anymore. The carabiner was clipped over the rope as like a quick draw is clipped. So the rope is running through the carabiner, but no longer, there's no
There's no friction
no friction. I took my other hand and was able to put my prusik on and secure myself to the rope. And then I redid the munter hitch. And as I was rappelling to Jim, I realized that my right foot hurt very badly, but it felt like it was just bruised really badly. It was functional. My left foot, I could feel crunching. I looked at him and I was like, we need to call 911 because we need search and rescue. I'm currently intact. I'm not bleeding that I'm aware of. I didn't lose consciousness. I don't have a spinal injury. 911's like, you need to stay where you are. You need to not move. You need to not eat or drink anything and stay put until the EMS crews arrive. It's 4 degrees and we will freeze to death here if we stay put until someone can reach us. They are many hours away from where we are. We have over 1,000 feet to the ground. So we're going to do what we can to descend. Also, we're going to do what we can to get ourselves down to keep other people out of harm's way. It was really only the start of the hell I was about to go through.